Hello everyone, this is Divya Rathore featuring from Career Point University Studio Live. We are back again with the budget of 2024 and 2025 introduced by our Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman to talk about our budget. Union Budget is the annual budget of Republic of India and it is being introduced every year in the month of Feb, which talk about how to analyze our fund introduced in every sector. We are back with School of Management and Commerce with School of Legal Studies. Today, Kashish will talk about the topic of railways, Asif Sahani will cover the topic of agriculture, Akshay Sharma will talk about healthcare facilities, and Vagisha Kapoor will address the topic of Election Commission, and I am the host for today who will cover the topic of women. Today, we are going to conclude some of the major topics covered in our budget like women's, agriculture, railway, healthcare and election commission. Firstly, I would request Kashish Talwani to conclude some points related to our railway by our Railway Minister Ashwin Vaishnav.
I would like to make focus on the railway topic, which has been allocated the budget of 2.55 lakh crore for the financial year 2024 and 2025, which was up by 5.8% from the last year allocation of 2.41 lakh crores. Our Railway Minister, Mr. Ashwin Vaishnav, also said that 82% of the last year allocation has been all spent by the end of January. Our Union Finance Minister, Nirmala Sitharaman, also mentioned in her speech that the centre will implement the three major economic corridors. The first, Energy, Cement and Mineral Corridor, which has been referred to as Energy Economic Corridor. Second, Port Connectivity Corridor aka Rail Sagar, and the third one, the High Density Traffic Corridor aka Amrit Chaturbhuj, which will help in the growth of GDP and also help in the reducing the cost of logistics. The Mr. Vaishnav also mentioned that 40,000 rail buggies will be converted into the luxurious facilities similar to as Vande Bharat. The project will be estimated the cost of 50,000 and 200 crores. He also mentioned that the CCTV, GPS and automated water measurement framework will also be introduced for the luxurious railway buggies. And the last, I would like to say that the GDP growth will be increased as per the allocation of the budget for the financial year 2024 and 2025 for the betterment and the good quality experience for the passengers.
As we all heard that Kashish has concluded the topic of railway, would it be beneficial for our public to have an experience of luxury life related to our railways, and would it increase our growth of railways and development of country?
I strongly believe that there will be the growth of the railway industry because of the budget allocated for the financial year 2024 and 2025, because it has been up by the last year of 5.8%. It will increase the quality of the passengers experience, which will also add to the GDP, and as mentioned that the quality of the buggies will also be increased with all the facilities provided by our government. It will experience the best luxurious train experience for the passenger and help us to grow in the GDP as well.
And what are your views that how it will be implemented? What all are the luxuries facilities will be introduced for our public?
Clean toilets will be implemented, and also the CCTV and the GPS facility will also be there, and the automated water measurement technique will also be introduced for filling the water tanks accordingly.
Wow, that's a great implementation of our budget by Railway Minister Ashwin Vaishnav. Now, let's have a focus on the topic of agriculture, which will be covered by Asif Sahani.
I would like to talk about the agriculture sector. The agriculture sector has contributed to 18.4% of the total gross value added in the fiscal year 2023, while the agriculture sector has shown the growth rate of 3.3% in the previous year. It is expected that the agriculture sector would show the increase rate to 3.6% in the upcoming year. the union budget of 2024 has allocated 1.27 lakh crores in the agriculture sector, and the government has introduced many more subsidies and policies regarding promoting our farmers. In the budget 2024, the PM Kisan Nidhi Yojana has increased by 60,000 crores from the last year. And lastly, I would like to conclude by saying this, that the PM Kisan Sampada Yojana has benefited more than 38 lakh farmers and generated employment for 10 lakh people in our country.
So what all are your views that how these schemes will be benefited for the growth of our upcoming years, and how the farmers will have the schemes and implement them for the benefit of that?
Yes, I surely believe that our government has introduced the budget regarding the agriculture sector, and we have seen the increase rate and the growth rate to 3.6% in the upcoming year. And the government has introduced many more schemes like Pradhan Mantri Sampada Yojana that has increased and benefited more than 38 lakh farmers, and the PM Kisan Nidhi Yojana that has been increased by 60,000 crores. So I strongly believe that the farmers will be promoted and be beneficial by this.
That's a great news that agriculture is growing with a rapid rate of 3.6%. Now we all know that in 2019 we hit it with a pandemic era of COVID-19, and vaccination is the mandatory solution for any type of disease introduced in our country. So we would like to introduce Akshat Sharma to have a view on healthcare facilities and what all are the schemes that has been introduced in the budget of 2024 and 2025.
Basically, the interim budget 2024 was introduced on 1st Feb by the Financial Minister of India with an allocation of rupees 90,658 crores. The Health Ministry with an increase of 1.68% from the last year. Basically, the healthcare budget focuses on 4 major schemes. First and the most important is for the protection of cervical cancer. A vaccination scheme is introduced among the girls of year 9 to 14 years under this scheme. Secondly, the budget in Saksham Anganwadi and Poshan 2.0 scheme is increased for improved nutrition delivery and also for early childhood care and development. Thirdly, a new platform named UWIN is introduced as an immunization effort for the Indradhanush Yojana under the scheme. Lastly, the healthcare budget also focuses on the healthcare cover of the workers worth rupees 5 lakhs of the all workers of Asha Sayogini and Anganwadi workers. Also, it included all the helpers of government sector under this scheme.
So you have concluded the topic that healthcare facility will be beneficial for cervical cancer disease patients. So how girls will be vaccinated on this sector, like they will be vaccinated in their schools or household areas, and what age group should be vaccinated in the girls?
Basically, the government of India introduced that the age group of girls 9 to 14 will be vaccinated under this scheme, and the girls majorly they cover the girls from their schools and their educational institutes. Also, they would focus on the other girls which are from some villages and sort of some rural areas, and they will vaccinate them also, and they will focus then each and every girl should be vaccinated, and they will defeat the disease of the cervical cancer.
Okay. So we all know that immunity plays a major role in the healthy human being era. So we all know that immunity weakness can cause to COVID-19 in the era of 2019. What are your views that how a healthcare budget will introduce or implement a betterment to your immunity system by any of the scheme introduced in the budget?
Basically, healthcare is the most important factor of a country's base. For the improvement of immunity system, also some schemes that I talked about, Ayushman scheme is introduced. So government already focused on this type of scheme, and also we have seen good efforts of our Indian government in the healthcare department during COVID also. And it is a good decision of government to increase the healthcare budget by the 1.68% this year.
Okay, that's a great news. Now let's talk about our next topic, which is an election commission covered by Vagisha Kapoor.
Let's talk about the Union Budget 2024 and 2025. In New Delhi, the Election Commission has been granted 385.67 crores for conducting the elections. The Law Ministry also have been provided 2,502.30 crores and 34.84 crores for procurement of electronic voting machines. They also have been provided funds for ballot units, control units and voter verifiable paper audit trial units. Then we will also focus on the average shelf life of electronic voting machines. And lastly, I strongly believe that Legislative Department under Law Ministry is a nodal agency that will look upon to the elections and election commissions.
A lot of amount has been introduced for the conducting of elections. So what are your views? Election made a major role in the development of our country. How a government can introduce election in the betterment, and how you will force or how you will introduce your country's people to give a right vote to right people.
Yes, I totally agree. Like everyone has a right to vote. So like Election Commission has been granted like 385.67 crores for conducting the elections.
We all know that India is a democratic country and we choose right government for our right people. So lastly, we will conclude our topic related to women. Women should not be on the last option. We all know that women is the major factor and a major role played for the development of our country. The growth of women is being seen in every sector, that women is doing every household work, teacher, doctor, Anganbadi Didi, sector of defense, ministry, as we can see that our Union Finance Minister is also a woman. So there should be a lot of schemes introduced for the betterment of women. Disbursement of 30 crores Mudra Yojana has been enrolled for the entrepreneurs of women. 43% of enrollment has been seen in STEM groups and schemes, and 28% increase has been seen in the higher education sector for women. As we all know that earlier it was less than 10% that women are enrolling in higher education, but now it's a plus point that 28% schemes and 28% increase has been seen in the women enrollment in higher education. In 2023 November, Nirmala Sitharaman has highlighted that 44.46 crore PM Modi Mudra Yojana loan has been granted for public, and of that loan 69% is being enrolled by women. And next we have Stand Up India, in which 84% loan has been introduced and enrolled by our women. Women plays a major role, and the development should be there for women in every schemes. So with this, I would like to conclude our topic of budget 2024 and 2025. We will be back soon with the next year budget of 2025 and 2026. I would like to thank our panel who have covered the mainly sector introduced by our budget. Stay tuned, stay updated. Thank you so much.